Hello and welcome to Heavy Metal Rex. My name is Awais, and today I want to do something I've been wanting to do for a few months now. I actually made a video some time ago about just kind of going over some comments and just reading some comments, but this video specifically I wanted to read through because there's so many comments that I have not replied, so many comments I haven't even read yet, and this is my most viewed short for one of my most viewed videos, and that's actually the 2022 WRX versus the 2018 STI. They were both 100% stock. I had just bought the VB, so it had nothing on there. And the person who had the STI, I believe, had just recently bought the STI as well. So I can understand there were some comments about him not shifting as quickly as he should have during our race, which I can totally empathize with. Now, there are some other comments that are pretty ridiculous that I wanted to read with you guys and just kind of go through them and probably answer them as we are here because some of them are pretty funny. Now, this video I actually put out over a year ago actually, because I got my car in October of 22, and it's been some, obviously you can see it's been some time, and most of you guys, if you have been watching the channel, you know my car was not tuned until I got the JV4, which was like sometime in November, and I didn't get the Cobb access port obviously until the end of November because Cobb didn't even exist. Like, there have been comments on here where people have said that I'm flat foot shifting, that the car is completely modified, that that is just making more power, but none of that is actually true because, as you guys know as well as I do, that didn't exist. So what I've pulled up here is this is the YouTube studio where it kind of shows me all my comments, and we're going to go through together. We're going to read some of these and kind of answer them. And like I said, these I haven't seen. I usually don't even look at the comments on this video because they're not great. So just so you know, this is the video that I'm referring to. Okay, now I understand he could have shifted a little bit faster, but even with the shift, these cars would have been pretty much neck and neck, just based off the speed between those two gears. We did confirm that he was in sports sharp mode. He did start in the right gear, and he did floor it at the exact same time. Now, another thing that does pop up is you hear that slight pop during my upshift, and most people say, well, that's why they think that the car is modified. Well, the car does pop from factory. It's just the muffler is so large you can't hear it. And in the video, you can see this blue tape right here is my Rode external mic right next to the exhaust. So, of course, the mic caught the pop, but my ears would not have caught that. So that's, again, one of the things that people say. So I want to go through some of these comments. These are like pretty recent. So it's got newest at first. So I'm just going to scroll through and find a couple of good ones. Like I said, I haven't read any of these. I usually just don't even bother because 9 out of 10 times they're trash comments. I don't care for them. Most of my shorts, I don't even bother reading the comments. So this first one says, Chrysler passes both of them. I don't know what he's referring to. I guess there was some Chrysler that was in the video. This is an interesting one that a lot of people say, which is true. Both are slow AF. You're right. They're both, 250, 270 wheel horsepower cars. The idea was not to show that these are like the fastest cars in the world. They're just showing the comparison. Another person said, based on that, the stock Volastar N is faster than an STI. So let's see what the, I don't know what year, Volastar N, a quarter mile. I actually don't know. So yeah, look at that stock. So 13.8 is the, I guess for that 22. Monster N 060 5.1, 13 quarter mile. So if you look at a 21 STI quarter mile, I think it's the same. It is 13.1. It's a 2021. Let's see, automotive catalog now. Do they have it right away? 260 quarter mile, 20.6, 13.5, 13.1 to 13.5. So not quite faster. Volstar's N is still a little bit slower. So that doesn't really make any sense. Two grandmas snuck out to race. It's true. You know, most people, well, in that case, the person who bought the STI was much, much younger than I was. Let's see, so this is a good one. Except every single VB I have raced loses by a few car lengths at least, and I haven't even tried dialing back the center diff yet for a proper drag. Stock for stock, there is no comparison. STI handles better, is faster, sounds better, is more comfortable inside, and looks way better. Now, obviously, the sound, comfort, and looks are subjective, so completely irrelevant here. As for handles better, that is now debatable, because what the WRX loses in the center diff and obviously LSD's front and back, we actually gained with the chassis being considerably more rigid than the VA was. And already we've heard a lot of people say that, yeah, the lack of diff is something that you feel on the track. For the most part, it is not quite as jarring of an experience as when you had the 2021 WRX, because it felt a little bit less comprehensive on the road. Now, we need to address this dialing back the center diff for proper drag. I don't know what the hell this guy is talking about. The center diff has nothing to do with drag racing. You could put all the power to the real wheels. If anything, I would imagine that would make it worse in drag racing. You really don't want to lose the all-wheel drive advantage that you have in a drag race, but this individual seems to think that putting 30% up front, 60, 70 in the back is the better way. You guys, I'm sure there'll be more comments about that in this video, but let me know. I don't think that one makes sense. Now, as for the every single VB losing by a few car lengths, that is literally impossible. Both of these cars run a 13 and some change in the quarter mile. We just saw that the STI is somewhere between 13.1 and 13.5. The stock 22, I will look it up right now, 22 WRX quarter mile is 14.7. I don't know who the hell did that. Where is, no, that one, I don't know what the hell that is. The 3.6 by 11, that is definitely not true. So this is the closest that I've gotten to the stock one, which was about 13.9. 14 point something sounds like they had like a 1 inch or a 1 foot rollout. This is about, when I did my race, it was like 13.8, and that's exactly, this is about as far that I got. I was able to get the same results as car and driver. I got 13.8, they got 13.9. I want to say that 0.1 is just a margin of error. I'd say 13.9 between 13.1 and 13.9. That's not a few car lengths. That most definitely is not a few car lengths. This next person says, still slow than Audi S3. Okay, that also doesn't make sense, because an Audi S3 starts at $47,000. That's a weird comment. And this actually happens a lot. People will say, oh, well, that car isn't as fast as this car. And then you go look at that car and it's $25,000, and you go look at this car, it's like $60,000. Well, I hope the $60,000 car is faster. That's a weird comment. I never really understood why people say something like that. This guy says, that's a big nope, not even close. 18 STI absolutely murders even the current WRX. I don't know how that's possible. They're both very, very similar in power. I don't know what 18 STI, why is it that STI drivers believe that the STI was just some incredibly fast supercar? Like, it wasn't. Now, in the 90s, it was close because supercars weren't as fast. But as now those cars have gotten faster, Subaru has not rebuilt or re-engineered the STI to keep up with things like, you know, Mustang GTs or Camaro 1LEs and stuff like that. Like, it's just, obviously those aren't supercars, but those are also just regular cars that are way, way faster than their 80s and 90s counterparts. So it's a weird thing to kind of hold on to. And look, I never said I hated the STI. I love it. My whole goal was I wanted to buy an STI, but it was COVID and I couldn't buy one for the right price. And people wanted to charge a whole lot of money, and I was happy to have a brand new car. So it's just a weird thing that people do with the STI. I don't know why that is. This guy says, the whole back end looked like an Acura, Honda, and the wheel wells are the only issue these cars. Imagine someone made a proper aftermarket. That was 2 months ago. Somebody needs to tell him that there's plenty of aftermarket fender kits, which is, again, this shows the ignorance of some of these comments. Like, people just don't know what they're talking about. If used, low mileage B58 Beamers weren't so affordable, I'd get one. If used, low mileage B58 Beamers weren't so affordable, I'd get one. Maybe he means if they were affordable. I mean, there's a lot of like N55 and N54 BMWs that are like kind of like mid-mileage that are low price that are also really good options. My buddy Austin down the street, he used to have a 2007 135i tuned. That thing was making like 450 or 480 to the wheel. Like, it was a crazy amount of power. So yeah, you have options if you want to buy a used BMW, but I mean, then that's a different story. Then you don't really care about having all-wheel drive and stuff like that. Here's a good one. I raced a 22 WRX GT from a dig once in my 2015. It doesn't say WRX or STI, but he says that he had me for the first 400 feet. My boy out here had a radar detector and a length detector to see exactly how many feet that was. Those things got crazy torque. Now, that's something I always hear. The thing is, the torque, we have a twin scroll engine, and both the WRX, the VA and the VB had a twin scroll engine. So, of course, we had much better torque delivery, and that's probably what he's experiencing outside. This guy just said, boy, don't know if it's a for or against comment. We'll let it ride. This guy says the WRX is lighter than the STI and is faster than STI 0 to 60. I don't know if that's true. I think the STI is still faster 0 to 60 than the WRX, because the WRX actually does not hit 60 in second gear, that's kind of what slows it down. So I don't know about that one. The WRX has direct injection, so it can accelerate faster. Not how that works. But when people start modding them, more and more parts and bigger gains in the STI. Now, that part is true. If you were modding a car for like high horsepower, it's already been proven. The EJ will do it way better than any FA engine because they get port injection. The FA engines just don't have that. And you can make modifications, but it's a lot more expensive to do. STI driver does not know how to drive. Okay, this is the whole shifting thing. I will give them that. Yes, the shift was a little bit on the slow side. Somebody says, I like the EJ motor. That's nothing wrong with that. HM Rex out there doing Lord's work. I do what I can, man. I do what I can. Makes for a great daily driver. Subaru Engineer event explained why it's the first WRX built on SUV platform using the Forester Crosstrek chassis, so very comfortable and quiet like an SUV. It is not quiet like an SUV at all, and it is not comfortable like an SUV. I can guarantee you that. Downside is handling isn't as good. Also untrue, it is very good, and it uses the SUV's electric power steering, electric brake vectoring. Yes, that is also true. All of the previous WRXs did use electronic brake vectoring. That's their VDC, Vehicle Dynamics Control. It works okay. It's not like the worst thing, but obviously there's no replacement for an LSD. So some of these things are wrong, some of them are right. This has been kind of the experience I've had with the community. People kind of just say whatever. Same displacement engines are going to be close. Upside of the new engine gains with bolt-ons. Yeah, that's true. Put the new engine in the previous generation and likely nobody would touch the new WRX. I don't know about that. I think that's not really true. People who have these WRXs have obviously grown up with STIs and WRXs over time. And even though this is a little bit more comfortable, I don't think it's the most comfortable WRX. And I'd say it's pretty on par with the STI in terms of ride quality, because like our suspension is pretty stiff. This is, it is stiff. You guys know. Bro, this 270, I know it. It's funny how so many people have been like chiming in about how they know exactly where I'm at. That kind of makes me laugh. XA driver needs to sell and buy an auto, whatever. This is a really interesting one. Grainy shifting and not double clutching. Who the hell double clutches in a drag race? Like, is that still a thing? I thought double clutching was just an old thing to do because of the way, like, when you don't have like good synchros, but like, really? Double clutching in a drag race sounds like a really, really bad idea. If anything, you could say, my boy probably did double clutch how slow that shift was. Somebody says he missed a shift. It wasn't a missed shift. He just shifted a little slow, that's all. This is a really good one. It says, I don't have a video, but my friend owns a 23 WRX to stage 1, and I own a 19 STI. We both tried. Okay, okie dokie. This man says that a stage 1 WRX is the same speed as a 19 STI. I'm sorry, it's not. It most definitely is not, because as we all know, even a 19 STI with the RA block only makes 270 to the wheel. So that's most definitely not true. Still more people making fun of his shifting. We're just gonna ignore that. Yeah, shifting is bad. I knew all the lightweight plastic material, no spare tire would do wonders for bro pulls on the highway. I mean, he's not wrong. Some people defending the FA24. It is a good engine, obviously. We definitely WRX is definitely a driver, STI not so much. I could say that's fair. That was a fair comparison. If you think this is fast, try a Mustang EcoBoost high performance pack making more than either. What? That also doesn't make sense because a Mustang EcoBoost makes like 325 and to the crank, and that's maybe like 290 to the wheel. Like that's not that much faster, and I think that is a little bit heavier. So you can see I could spend all day reading these comments, and anytime I post any of these shorts or racing videos, it's a mixed bag of comments, you know? And I don't blame people, you know, they don't really go out there and research. And most of their responses, you can tell, they just don't know about the car or the differences. And so it's really easy, I mean, it's really easy to hate on something you don't really understand. And, you know, we do our best. At least I try to do my best to educate as much as possible. Tuners try to do their best, but it's not easy, you know? And if you're already going into a situation wanting to hate, it doesn't really matter what anybody's gonna say. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like the content that I've been making, please remember to like, subscribe. It definitely helps me out a lot, and I will see you in the next one.